So let's start with the first card. And in this particular deck, it's called the Harvest card. In traditional tarot, this is the same as the Judgment. And this card symbolizes reaping rewards for what has been sown. Oh, oops, I'll get in the light right. And bringing forth a rebirth, just like what it sounds. It's a sense of renewal. As you can see here, the farmer has been working closely with nature, and you can see these little brownie guys, and they're helping him connect with nature and connect with his spirit and connect with what he has reaped and what he has sown. Oftentimes, there may be, in this card, there may be a need for self-assessment and accountability as well, because it's these results are reckoning from a time of, okay, what have I done in the past, and what has my life been like? And so now I'm in a period of rebirth, reconciliation with my soul, with my spirit, and I'm talking about you guys, Aries. So it's a great time for personal growth, spiritual peace. There may be some atonement from past actions that were initiated or forced upon yourself through the judgment of others. Sometimes that happens through others' thoughts or words, that we have our own self-imposed restrictions. So this is about gaining atonement. And with this revelation and insight comes for new energy and renewed energy for transformation. So I feel like that with a lot of you, all this, basically what this card is saying for many of you, Aries, is that there's a lot of self-renewal, letting go of the restrictions. And I saw the fourth card. So you have two major arcana cards. This is, of course, Judgment in traditional tarot. And then you have, as your fourth card, you have the same as the Devil card. This one calls it Nature. Because as you can see here, this guy is looking down at the trap he's setting for this bear, and this bear is right behind him, like, what are you doing? You're too tied, you're too bound to some of the earthly goods in life, like material possessions, or tied to a loved one, or tied to a job that's not serving your purpose anymore. Maybe it's paying the bills, but you're just like, I'm getting the word reserved, and I'm not really sure why. Maybe you reserve your spot there, and you don't need to reserve your spot there any longer, that you have the ability to move on. So you have two major arcana cards. They're diagonal to each other. I pay attention to how the cards lay out. So this one, there's a new birth, because this last card is saying, we don't want you, universe is saying, we don't want you tied to situations and to feel bound by your own self-imposed restrictions. I'm going to go back to that, Aries. This is a time of renewal and transformation for you, big time. And the universe is on your side. Short-term goals are not always great when there's a sacrifice. And so, like I said, staying in a job or in a relationship that's not loving or nurturing to both parties' needs, to both of your needs. It's like, really, where is the excitement for you in regards to others as well? Where's the refreshments? Well, that could be. What's the refreshing value? And so you have two cards here that are actually totally different major arcana cards, but really, I feel like that in some form this goes together well, because you're rebirthing and out of old situations. And the caution here is to don't stay so tied down to any circumstance, person, work, job, spiritual belief, religious belief, whatever it is that makes you feel tied to it. It's time to let go. Because you also have the Eight of Wands. And this is a card, I love this card actually. It's different in this particular deck than it is in any other deck. Normally it's, well, the Eight of Rods or Eight of Wands are 8 rods flying through the air. I know you've seen it. Well, in this particular one, they're not flying through the air at all. She's very practical. She's sitting down, she's kneeling down, and she's looking at her 8 rods here, and she's contemplating all of her experiences and what she's done in life, and she's ready to move on. The Eight of Rods is about quick forward movement. That's usually why you see things like flying through the air. It could be about news that comes up, very sudden, quick news, like in the next 2 to 3 days, actually, or in a 2 to 3 day time period, about advancement. It could be about advancement. It could be about travel, possibly, because it's usually quick and it's like, okay, I need to pack my bags and get ready to go on a trip to, a business trip, or maybe someone has invited you to go on a safari or go on a cruise or something like that. But it oftentimes does involve travel. It can mean relocating as well. But it does oftentimes mean news coming from a distance. And it can mean really great career news. So some of you that are feeling this, sorry about that, I'm using some different pointers today. But yeah, here's a card. Those of you who are feeling a rebirth around your job, and there's new openings, new excitement, that's what this Eight of Wands comes up and says, hey, this is a new opportunity. This is an advancement. You could travel. So there's a real underlying beneficial current for this Eight of Wands to be here, because the Page of Swords is beneath the Harvest card or the Judgment card. And this is about an apprentice ready to test new skills. See how she's pointing the sword up to the sky? The wise owl is on the tree limb and the moon is behind him. So she's obviously using her intuition. She's pointing the sword up to gain information from the heavens, from the spiritual realm. And then her book of knowledge is open by the candlelight. So it might be a great time, Aries, to showcase your talent, to test those new skills, to test what you've learned recently, maybe in a classroom setting, or some of you, I'm getting that some of you have co-written books or co-written instructional books, maybe online books with someone, done that sort of project. So it's time to move those forward. And there might be, because of that, you might get an opportunity to travel. I do feel like a lot of this is around your work. You might get that opportunity to travel and to showcase yourself. Get some recognition, endorsement. Evaluation. Yeah, oftentimes too, there's language skills that are used in this. So again, that's why I keep getting writing. This could be writing marketing, but promoting oneself. So let's pull some clarification cards. And I'm trying to decide which deck I want to use. If I want to use this one, again, for clarification, or if I want to go with this one. I'm seeing who's winning out here. And I think I'm going to go with the Hanson Roberts. All right, so let's see what goes on around these cards. Well, there's several that want to come out. Yeah, I mean, a lot of your goal is, happy home, happy family, well-dressed, your money is in place. This is the Nine of Pentacles, completion of a project so that you do have that money and the income for stability to stabilize yourself. See the castle in the background? So the feeling of financial and material gains. And, I was talking about that earlier about not being so tied to that. And there's a difference between being tied to a job, feeling like you're bound to a job because it's providing the money for you to live and being stuck in that, as opposed to feeling good about the money you're making because you love what you're doing. You know, you're doing your skill set. That's what this card is about. You're putting forth your skill set so that you can gain money, gain promotion, access to other people that are important in your line and occupation. All right. And then the Ten of Rods comes up and says, yeah, you do feel burdened sometimes. And maybe that's why this, that's why this Devil card came up, is because you've been carrying the load and you've had your sights set. See how he's looking down towards the ground? He's on this path. His goal is to be up here in this beautiful purple mountain, and he's walking towards the castle, which will take him there in this beautiful light of enlightenment. But he needs to drop these restrictions, these burdens, and you will, Aries, you will do that. Won't you? Okay. Yeah, because you've had your blinders on a little bit. You've not seen everything for what it is. You've like, no, I'm going to avoid that, avoid a person, avoid a situation that's not really done you well or right, because she has her blinders on. She has her hands crossed over her heart. So she's holding everything close to the vest. It's about emotions because it has water in it. So, let that dissolve. Let those feelings dissolve. And the 2 means, partnering with someone else or communication with someone else. So maybe communication, let that come into play. Discussions. Wow, that's interesting. And then the 8 of Swords comes up in reverse. They're similar cards in a way. Look how both of them have the bandana around their eyes, and this one's literally tied up, and this one's just protecting herself. So you may have a feeling of protection here. By doing this, you're protecting your heart and your ideas. The swords are about our ideas. You may not want everybody to know what you're up to for some odd reason, and I don't mean that as being odd, but just for some reason you're not letting everybody know your feelings. The 8 of Swords usually means you're thinking. You're again, self-imposed thinking. You're in your head a lot. So, let the wind blow off the bandana here and untie this tightness, because, again, here's the castle where all she has to do is turn around, see things differently. It did come up in reverse, thank goodness. So I like that. So after you let off the blinders here, you don't feel the guardness to yourself, and you'll know when you need to do that, then all of this feeling of restriction will overcome itself. And the last card that wanted to come out is the Ace of Pentacles, so that's very nice. The Ace of Pentacles is about new money or new manifestation, a new job, new creative way to make money comes up your way, a new venture that can happen for you. So I feel like this rebirth that's coming in for you, Aries, is going to produce financial gains and results. Okay, that's awesome. All right, so I'm going to add up the cards numerologically and, of course, match them to the major arcana. So we have 28, 29. 29 and 15 is what? 44, right? Yes, I know. 29 and 15 is 44. I know you guys are going, yes, it is. Yeah. Okay, well, that's cool because 44 is a master number. Whoops, I just dropped one of my crystals. 44 is a master number, and it is a master builder. So 44 life paths, which is all of your birthday added up together. Great at connecting with other people, connecting with other countries, people in other countries, and not just other countries. It can be, anywhere in the world, or wherever you're living at this point. But it's just a master builder is very structured. They're very grounded. They know how to put plans together so that they can manifest money, because form 4 is 8, and 8 is about manifesting. So that makes me feel real good for you guys. I don't normally get 44. That rarely comes up. So there is no 44 in the major arcana. There's the number 8. And the number 8 is the strength card. So the universe wants you to have your strength, know that you can do it. You have all of your inner components in place, your spirituality, or what you feel like your inner needs are there to do for you. You can get past this feeling of self-imposed restrictions.